This is a very special episode of Week 408 today because the town of today is a place we all frequent. The town of today is Rochester, New York. You heard that correctly. What do you think about that, Bob? You ever been there?
I've been to Rochester a lot.
How about you, George?
I've been to Rochester quite a few times. It's,
In the thousands or the 10,000s?
well, it's a city that has a little bit of everything. You know,
In fact,
it's
I
almost
tell
like if you
people
took,
I'm from Rochester.
Wow.
It's like New York City, only in a much scaled down version. It's got, it's got the theater. It's got
Ra-cha-cha.
Anyways, Rochester is a city in Monroe County, New York State. It has a total of 37 square miles and a population of 207,000 people, but it's New York State's third largest city. The Rochester area extends Monroe County and includes Genesee, Livingston, Ontario, Orleans, and Wayne counties.
Really, I didn't even know that. That many counties.
This area, part of the Western New York region, has a population of over 1 million people. Rochester's geography comes from ice sheets left during the Pleistocene epoch that deposited sediment along the southern edge of their masses, and this created the hills which are now Mount Hope, Highland Park, Pinnacle Hill, and Cobb's Hill. What do you think about that, Bob? The ice sheets also left behind Lake Ontario, the Genesee River with its waterfalls and gorges, Irondequoit Bay, Sodus Bay, Braddock's Bay, Minion Ponds, and the nearby Finger Lakes. My co-host, Bob Hussey, and my co-host, George Caston. Can I ask you to share your innermost feelings about Rochester, New York?
As
Scene.
being global, as in the history of the past, as say 10,000 years ago, the ice sheets melted. It wasn't that long ago.
If you're a mountain,
It created all these Finger Lakes all the way through
yeah,
here.
it's pretty amazing the way the geological changes took place.
I think it's very clever the way they went from Rochester being the flour city, Flour, because of all the granaries and mills and everything, to the flower city, Ower, and capitalizing on that to great festivals like the Lilac Festival is a beautiful time to be in Highland Park. I love going to the Old Toad, because they have my favorite beer there, Old Peculiar. You are what you drink.
Well, there you go, man. Rochester's a great place. I've lived there a couple of different times. Great people, you know. There's great people down here south of the Thruway as we know it, basically out of the country. But I'll tell you, there's great people up in Rochester too. That's all I can say. Final comments about Rochester?
Susan B. Anthony. It's a women's lib
Bob
town.
Lonsberry,
And Bob Lonsberry.
Michael,
Brother Weeze.
Michael Goodell.
And
Uh,
Mangione.
I had
Chuck Mangione and the Flugelhorn.
There we go. Feels so good.
I had an interesting experience when I first moved up to this region. I was in my car. I was just taking a nap at nighttime. I was waiting for class to start.
Oh, you were above.
And I hear a tap at the window, and it's some guy on the street. And he says,
It's Jerry Rongo looking
No.
for a place to stay.
he says, I just want to make sure you were all right, man. I saw you just sitting in the car sleeping. I didn't know if you were sleeping or not. I just wanted to make sure you were all right. You were all right. And I was really impressed by that. It was very touching. You know, it's coming from the New York City area where I grew up. That would never happen.
And then he banged you on the head and took you
No,
out.
no. So, you know, it was a very personal thing to do, and I just appreciated it.
Well, fair and groovy. See, life is good. And on that note, we're going to move on to our next segment. This is called Funny or Stupid. I'm going to show these guys a few pictures, and you're going to tell me if it's funny or if you're stupid. And number one, Mr. Bob Hussey's here.
Like this show, is it funny
Yeah,
or stupid?
Bob works on construction quite a bit. He probably knows a fine quality structure when he sees one. I don't think this one's in America, but this guy apparently went out there, put it up there piece by piece, got his studs going. What do you think, Bob? Funny or stupid?
It's stupid. It's a piece of art, though. Somebody'd buy it.
And George, funny or stupid?
You know what? It's a piece of art. It doesn't strike me as funny or stupid. It's
I think it's
kind of interesting.
It looks unsafe to me. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
this is our next one, kind of along the same lines. Little
Oh.
picture. This is what you call topia, right? People
That's
go out and
funny.
do things with bushes and trees. Apparently, we have a dispute between neighbors here. There's something to that effect. That's certainly what it looks like. What do you think, Bob? Funny or stupid?
Funny.
And George?
That's kind of funny. If we want to go down to the toilet humor thing, in a minute he'll be blasting out some peat moss, I suppose.
Well, the toilet humor is where we dwell.
Yeah.
And this one is a picture almost everybody's seen. This is Mr. Phil Spector.
Before his trial, his
in the
murder
music
trial.
industry. But I still have to wonder,
Is that a wig?
if you had to sit in court for murder, would you dress like that? I don't know. Is this funny or stupid, Bob?
I would say funny.
Does it make you horny?
No.
And George?
This Phil Spector was probably thinking, if I combine the genes of Albert Einstein and Jimi Hendrix, maybe I'll be able
All right, George.
to sway the judge, you know?
So he's he looks like a rock and roll Einstein, man.
Oh my God.
Now this one, I think it kind of speaks for itself. And I would have to see if you think
That's funny.
you agree with this,
Yeah.
and if it's funny or stupid. What do you think, Bob?
It's not funny.
Oh, well then.
I'll have to go with stupid.
George?
I think that's funny. I think it's clever.
I
Women
think-
think with their hearts, men think with their dicks, and
Yeah,
that's,
they did a
all-
good job symbolizing that for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, onward to our next one. And is this one funny or stupid? Apparently someone was a little anxious to get out of the gas station. They went in, they paid, and they just jumped in the truck and took off. What do you think? Funny or stupid, Bob? That could be you. Didn't that happen
I
to
say
you once?
funny. I say funny. I think it did happen to me once, Mark. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go far. You probably find several examples of that.
Hundreds of thousands of people
On
filling
YouTube
up
or
at the
anything.
gas stations.
So nonetheless, it's
one's
stupid.
bound to drive off.
Both. I guess it's funny. It's
And this could be our last one. Is this one funny or stupid? This one was a little disturbing to me when I looked at it, but it's at the shock value. It's like this guy. Is that legal in basketball? You can only block the other opponent in certain ways. Is this a legal way to be blocking?
well, that's traveling.
That's traveling.
Bob, funny or stupid?
I'd say stupid.
But titillating. And,
But titillating.
Stupid.
We'll throw a little tittle.
and there might be one more. I have no idea. No, that was it. That was our funny or
Thank
stupid
you,
for this
ladies and
episode.
gentlemen.
I hope you enjoyed that. Got a couple of chuckles. Who knows? We might have got lucky, right? On to our next episode. This is the joke of the day. This is where we're going to tell a joke. They got one. Bob, you have a joke? No.
I might.
Lay it on me, bro.
The guy had a talking dog.
Oops.
So he went into the bar and he says, I'll take a beer and give my friend here a beer. And the bartender says, we don't serve dogs. And I said, the owner said it was the talking dog. And he says, well, let him order his own beer. So the dog spoke up and says, I'll take a beer. And the bartender gave him one. So about a half hour went by and they drank their beers, and the owner of the dog went to the bathroom, and the bartender gave the dog $10 to go across the street and play a joke on Pete, the bartender. So he thought that he gave him $10. And so the dog went across the street, and the owner comes out and says, where's Fido, my dog? And the owner says he went across the street to Pete. He's going to play a joke on my friend. And so the owner went over and opened up the door and seen the dog on some female dog, and he was humping away. And the owner says, Fido, I didn't know you were like this. And Fido says, I never had $10 before. Super Dave.
George, you have a joke?
I do.
I'll just pass it along.
Well, not too true. A chicken walks into a casino in Las Vegas, okay? And he's walking through the casino, and he walks up to the backrack table and sits down. And he sits down next to a rather distinguished-looking gentleman in a white jacket and smoking a cigarette. Chicken looks up at him and says, "Hi, what's your name?" And the man looks at the chicken and says, "My name's Bond. James Bond. What's yours?" "My name's Ken. Chick Ken." What?